In this video, we're going to showcase 8 different hunting builds from the MakerPipe community, and these are wildly different in their uses. There's some blinds, there's some utility racks, but what they all have in common is they're made with off-the-shelf electrical conduit and clamps that you can get at makerpipe.com. And we're going to go through, highlight these ideas, and hopefully give you some inspiration for your projects. This first one is a portable duck blind that Chris shared a while back, and this is really cool because he shared pretty much a full write-up and a bunch of pictures and all kinds of cool stuff. Essentially, this was made to fit inside of a 5x10 trailer, needed to be portable, needed to be strong, durable, and fit 4 to 6 hunters. He even posted this picture that had the cost breakdown down here, which is cool, and this full diagram of the conduit and the different connectors that you need. So that's really cool. If you want to make this exact thing, you can check this out. You can screenshot this or check out the post in the description and learn exactly how he put it together and exactly what you need, which is really cool. We'll go through here. We can see the photos of it all finished. He's got the metal roof on there. He's got the there it is inside the trailer. That was one of the things that had to have. And then here it is. He started outfitting it with the different like chicken fencing or that plastic fencing there, and then some of the brush on the outside, and then he finishes it off here as you can see, and it looks fantastic. Just really cool and a really great build. And like I said, just $400, nothing too crazy, and allows you to have 4 to 6 hunters inside there, which is really cool. And just utilizes all EMT conduit. If you're unfamiliar with that, you get it in the electrical aisle of different hardware and home improvement stores. You can cut it really easily, you can bend it really easily with just handheld tools. And then the MakerPipe fittings are something that we manufacture in upstate South Carolina, and you can put structures like this together, and you don't have to do any welding. You just use a 5mm hex wrench. So that's how he put it together, and that's how all these projects are going to be put together. This is a really cool one from Chris. Thanks so much for sharing it. Next up is a really cool boat blind that was shared by Travis, and this was shared a while back, and there's been tons of boat blinds that have been shared in the community. We've done a ton of roundups on just blinds specifically that you can check out. I'll link down below, but this is one that was shared more recently, and this is really awesome, and it's just a really good kind of build that showcases the empty conduit and clamps from MakerPipe to make a really custom blind. Here we can see it's got a lot of nice bends in it. It has a really cool shape, and it has basically this solution that we see a lot of builders do where they use the ABS plastic sheets and kind of put that on the outside of the frame and then use some of the hardware cloth on there, or I guess those are cattle panels actually. That gives you a really good mounting point for all the brush and everything that you want to mount on there, using zip ties, whatever it may be. He's got some hinging gates on there, as we can see, and then we can see a couple of the MakerPipe connectors. He's using the T connector, which is a really common one. Got the MakerPipe couplings, which is really good for joining frames together. And essentially, here we can see it all put together, and it looks fantastic, as you can see, with everything on it, and not too complicated. Just some empty conduit from local hardware store, a few connectors, and just some simple materials, but a really awesome job. Thanks so much for sharing it. Next up is a cool one, and this was shared by Chris, and this is a UTV trailer that he already had in place and wanted to kind of maximize it and make it even more useful for hunting trips. And so he's got his decoys in the back there, and he made this empty conduit framework to go on top of the existing trailer, and then just added some netting around the outside, and then this just makes the capacity for carrying all these decoys much higher. And as you can see, it's working out great. Just got some cargo netting on there, really simple, and it's just pretty much just a rectangular cube with the 90-degree connectors in the corners, and it looks like some T connectors down there, and pretty much just a big box that sits on top of the trailer, just cut to size to fit exactly around the kind of outside rails of the trailer. And then, like I said, just some netting on there with some Velcro straps and some hooks for the cargo nets. So really cool, really simple build, but really useful, and not too expensive, but just kind of maximizes this trailer and makes it even more useful. So really awesome. Thanks so much for sharing this. Next up are these really cool A-frame blinds that Travis put together, and these are really cool because they're made to be kind of 2 halves that you can store really easily. And he did that just using some, of course, different connectors. He's got couplings in the middle, which separate it in half, so you can separate the 2 sides. See some adjustable angle connectors in there for the angled piece that grabs on to this piece of conduit that's bent. Like I said, you can use a handheld tool for that, and it's really easy to do, and it's not too complicated. We're actually going to do a full build breakdown later this week of this one, so be sure to subscribe and wait for that. But this is really cool and a really simple blind. There it is, all put together with the cam on the outside. And it's really simple, but really effective, and just really awesome. So thanks so much for sharing it. Next up is a recent one that comes from Jeremiah, and this is a utility trailer that he made for his e-bike. And this is really cool, and just a lot of awesome stuff in this, a lot of great techniques. There you can see he's standing on it just to kind of show the strength. And this actually folds out and turns into a sleeping platform, which is really cool, and is just made to be a utility trailer. He said that the hunting property he goes to, there's some areas that dirt bikes aren't allowed, and so this e-bike is allowed back there. And so he made this utility trailer, just to be able to camp on and haul some different things in and out. And essentially, it's a pretty cool design. It has the EMT conduit that slides out thanks to the telescoping clamps. And so this kind of extension piece slides all the way out, and then he takes off the kind of cage part of the trailer, uses that as a base for the platform to kind of rest on. And it's really cool. And there's the top part separated, as I was just describing, and then there it is underneath, and then there it is. He's got some just normal piano hinges on the wood that just folds down and sits on top of that, and it turns into this platform that you can sleep on. And then there it is in kind of trailer mode, so you can haul stuff around. Really cool, really simple, but a lot of great techniques and just an awesome build. So thanks so much for sharing it. Next up is a blind that was shared by Pat, and this is really cool. This one's made out of 1-inch EMT conduit and connectors. A lot of the builds that we've seen so far are 3/4 inch. This is really cool. Obviously, it doesn't have anything on the outside of it yet, but this is the framework, as we can see, and it uses a lot of T connectors to add these cross supports, the angled pieces that go all the way up, all these different windows here. We can also see some 90-degree connectors being used to add a bench there in the back that you can sit on, and some 90-degree connectors used down there in the corners for this kind of main cube design. And just looks really fantastic. Just a lot of 90s, a lot of T's, and like I said, you can customize builds like this. The dimensions, everything is customizable really easily, and this is an awesome one. All it needs is the camo and everything on the outside, and it's going to be a fantastic blind for the hunting season. So that's really awesome. Thanks so much, Pat, for sharing it. Last but not least is actually two builds that comes from Dale, and this is a rack that he built for his Argo. As you can see here, just using the maker pipe flanges that we designed for EMT conduit, just bolting the EMT conduit frame to his Argo, and just has this cargo rack there added to it now, just with some crossbars. You can put some things on there and strap them down. That's really cool. Here he is, he kind of painted it, and then here we can see is the hunting blind that he added these hinging panels to. And this is really cool because he used the adjustable angle flange and kind of left these two pieces spaced apart just enough so that they can hinge. So there's just enough friction there that he can fold these up and they kind of hold their position there. Then he can fold them down, as we can see with the back set there. And this just adds some really easy panels that you can hinge up and down whenever you're out there hunting. So that's really cool, and just a really great use case of the different products. There it is with the adjustable angle flange. Like we can see close up of them, and then it's kind of folded down, and we can see with the different things mounted to it. And I think he used this bolt in between the two halves as the spacer to kind of create that friction on the pieces so that they can hinge up and kind of stay in place and still be able to hinge. So that's really cool. And there it is. Got some different things attached with zip ties, nice and simple, and just some awesome ideas. So really cool things. Hopefully you guys got some inspiration from these builds. If you have any questions, feel free to leave those down below, and we'll try to help you as best we can. Check out the links in the description for all the posts and some different information that you might find helpful. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.